Okay, welcome. We are in Hexter 5, week 1 of chemistry, and let's get started with what we're going to be doing this week. First, I'll just mention briefly regarding last Hexter. If it was a Hexter you did not pass, where you want to get the credit for it, you can still do that work and get the credit. Okay? Just a quick mention of that fact. Now, here we go. New beginnings right now. Hexter 5, week 1. There is a discussion post. Remember, these are graded, so just click on that and come up with your best observations for that discussion post. Then there's a chemical bonding review reading, okay, and a short quiz that follows. By this point, you're probably pretty familiar with how the quizzes work, so shouldn't be too much of a problem. Then there's a video chemical bonding review. Take some notes. There's an attached note taker, or just use your notebook if you want. Take some notes just to become more familiar with chemical bonding. Then we get into lesson 2, balancing chemical equations, and there's a video. Watch that video. It's a step-by-step guide on how to balance chemical equations. Then here's a short reading on step-by-step balancing equations. Okay, so you just have to read through that. I've laid it all out for you. Click on the link as well. This lays it out step by step how to do it. As we get through balancing chemical equations the next 2-3 weeks, I think you'll find that, okay, I kind of get it. It's not that much of a mystery. You just basically need to have the same amount of atoms of each element on each side of the arrow. The arrow is our separator here in the equations. Then there is a Quizlet on chemical bonding, and there'll be one on chemical balancing as well next week to get you familiar with the processes of chemical equations. And the more you see it, the more you read about it, and the more you do it, you're going to be like, okay, not a problem. There is a little quiz here. This is just a self-assessment. You can click on that link when you're done, see how you do. That one is not graded. Just to give you a quick look at what a balanced chemical equation looks like, here's our two compounds written here, and the arrow separates the two. Now let's see how these are balanced. We're looking at carbon. Well, here's 3 carbon. This is a subscript, and you'll learn all this new vocabulary. There's 3 carbons. You don't change that ever, okay? And then there are 3 carbons over here. This is called the coefficient. So the number in front of the atom is the coefficient. So there's 3 carbon dioxide here, but 3 of them are carbon, okay? And the pizza's ready. Okay, hold on a second. Let me pause this. Back, and I didn't burn the pizza. All right, so here we go. We're balancing our equations. 3 carbons. 3 carbons, that's the coefficient. This subscript, which you cannot change when you're doing the balancing, subscript is 3. The only number you change when you're attempting to balance equations that, these are balanced. If you're attempting to balance an equation that's unbalanced, the only number you can change is this coefficient, which is right in front of the atom. Now let's look at hydrogen. Well, we have 8 atoms of hydrogen here. And then we look over here and it's like, wait a minute, how did we get 8? Well, we have 4 as a coefficient, and then there's 2 atoms, so that's 8. 4 times 2. So that checks out. That's balanced. Then we look at oxygen. Oxygen, here we have 5 as our coefficient, 2 is our subscript, so we have 10 atoms of oxygen. 5 times 2 is 10. Now let's look over here. Well, we've got 4 of H2O. Okay, water, obviously. So 4 oxygen here. The coefficient applies to both of these atoms. 4 oxygen plus 3 times 2 oxygen here is 6. So 4 plus 6 is 10. 10 on each side. We're balanced. So that's just a quick walkthrough. Don't worry too much about it. if you didn't grab my explanation right away. Once we get a few of these problems done and go through this for a couple of weeks, I think it's going to come relatively quickly to you. So have a great week 1. See ya.